Hello, I'm Doug Brown. Welcome to this episode of BarChat. I'm happy to have with me in the BarChat studio today, John Kronholm. John is the principal in Kronholm Insurance. He's been helping lawyers with malpractice and other insurance products since 1991 and is the endorsed provider for the Connecticut Bar Association. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
We've talked a lot about insurance over the years, and the topic today is to talk about cyber liability insurance. That's a new hot topic. Everybody's concerned about protecting data and what happens to them if their data gets out. So tell me, what is cyber liability insurance?
All right. Well, first off, most lawyers have lawyers' professional liability, and that policy provides some coverage, or may provide some coverage, for a cyber-type loss if personal or private information is accidentally released or stolen. But the policy is not designed or intended to be a full cyber liability policy. Cyber liability is the theft, loss, or accidental release of sensitive data of either a client or a firm employee, such as Social Security numbers, financial records, medical records. Any of those proprietary pieces of information, if it is lost or stolen from the firm, could be an exposure for a lawyer or his firm. There is a duty to notify all the potential clients, and a recent study showed that the cost is approximately $60 per record to notify people.
Just to notify them?
Just to notify them. And then the firm or attorney could still be subject to what we call a third-party claim of damages because that sensitive data was compromised.
How does sensitive data how do people get access to it?
Well, most people think that it's as a result of hacking, and many attorneys say, or firms say, we have very good IT safeguards, we maintain up-to-date software protections. However, hacking is only one form of access to this data. It could be a lost or stolen personal cell phone or laptop. It could be hard copy paper that wasn't shredded or disposed of properly. Hacking actually is a small component. It's more often that losing or having a cell phone or laptop stolen, say, when you're traveling in an airport. Another
Leaving
example,
your laptop behind in a courthouse.
Exactly. Another thing is just the accidental release. You email it to the wrong party, or it's released by a disgruntled employee. So there's a number of ways that this data can be compromised.
So what does a cyber liability policy do for you then?
Number one, it provides coverage for notification of all those.
That $60 a record cost.
Correct.
Right.
Also, it provides like a liability policy if there is if you have to pay an indemnity or settlement if it's determined that a client or a employee was harmed by the release of that data.
What about, we've all seen the big stories in the news about the companies that release the data and they have to provide, so many years of identity theft protection. Is that the kind of thing that would be covered under a cyber liability policy?
Correct. Every state has a different requirements. I think 47 out of 50 states have requirements of what you would have to do in terms of offering protection, like credit monitoring and the notifications. So it depends on where those clients or people that were affected by this loss of sensitive data were located. But yeah, the policy would provide cost recovery for that. Let me just say one other thing. In addition to having insurance, which is important, there's ways to minimize your exposure, which is only keep the sensitive records you need, dispose of them properly, i.e. shredding, be up to date with your software protections and your IT firewalls and other IT risk management. But the insurance is your backstop, because even the best computer system protection still can have a breakdown.
Right. So a member looking at this already pays a fair amount for malpractice insurance, especially small firm practitioners. It's one of the very large costs.
Sure.
Now they're nervous about cyber liability. How is this product priced, and is it something that's accessible to a small firm practitioner who is concerned about it?
Some good basic coverage can cost as little as $500 or $600 a year, which, when you look at what it protects, is not a insurmountable amount. Different attorneys or firms should consider their exposure based on their area of practice. Attorneys that have a lot of medical records might want more coverage than one that does criminal defense and doesn't have a lot of financial records or medical records.
So somebody in estate planning who has lots of financial records, maybe more than a corporate transactional person,
Right.
for instance.
Two of the drivers for the cost of this insurance are the number of clients an attorney or firm has, and secondly, their revenues. That derives how much activity they have and how much exposure they have.
So, but even a small firm, I think what we're learning is that even a small breach can have a large financial impact, even if you don't have a lot of clients and you think
Correct.
you're secure. And those people might not have the IT systems in place to protect their data.
Right.
With the time that we have, beyond thinking about cyber liability as an add-on to professional malpractice policies, what other things would lawyers look for if they say at the end of the year, I want to be making sure I have the right kind of policies when I talk to my person? We've
already mentioned the lawyer's professional liability. That's a given. And that has always been historically the coverage that almost all attorneys have. Kind of a newer development, like the cyber liability, is computer fraud. And that is, I mentioned a minute ago that cyber liability is the release or loss of sensitive data. Computer fraud is if money is taken from you fraudulently, either through hacking or through a Ponzi scheme, that type of thing. And once again, your lawyer malpractice policy may provide protection if this loss occurs in the process of providing legal services.
Sure.
But if your firm system is hacked and somebody goes in and manipulates, so they create a wire transfer of client funds,
All right.
and that's not in the attorney's process of doing legal services, that typically would be not covered. So computer fraud coverage with people doing more transactions over the internet is another protection they should at least look at and consider.
All right, super. Well, John, thank you for coming in and sharing this important information. I think it's important for every attorney, especially the small firm practitioners, to regularly review their policies and make sure that they're covered for these sorts of things, and also to be looking to make sure you're not going just for the lowest cost policy, but you're going for the one that provides you the best coverage. So,
I'm happy to be here.
excellent. Thank you.
All right.